Hey, what's up everyone? I wanted to make a little tutorial about vibrato on woodwind instruments, since some people were asking about that on Facebook. I'm not an expert player or anything, but I really had a lot of struggle with vibrato and just grasping the concept behind it. So I still got a really clear idea of how to produce vibrato and the problems I struggled with and things that really helped me to find my vibrato. So this tutorial is aimed at woodwind instruments like the ocarina, the tin whistle or low whistle, and the recorder. Those are the woodwind instruments I play, but I think other woodwind instruments should also be fine. So first of all, when playing the tin whistle, I know a lot of players like to use the fingers to produce vibrato, but that's not the method I use. So the first step is to find a comfy environment. I'm in my own room, I don't have to be embarrassed about people hearing me making strange sounds, because if you're gonna practice vibrato, you're gonna do a lot of just playing notes. It doesn't sound very graceful. So yeah, be in an environment where you're not ashamed to play and where you're comfy and where you can play quite loudly as well, because putting in breath really helps. Putting in a large amount of breath, playing with that will really help you find your vibrato. So another thing is make sure you're not like exhausted from running up the stairs or anything like that. Don't be short on breath, you should be totally rested so you can really use your lungs and your diaphragm to make the vibrato. So first of all, I'll show you what not to do. When I was looking up tutorials online when I didn't have my vibrato yet, I saw a lot of players just put in pulsating breaths and practicing like that, going faster each time. I think that's the worst way to do it. That's not a good way at all. Also, don't use the throat to produce vibrato. That's just not good for your throat, and yeah, it just doesn't sound very nice. So yeah, none of this. Yeah, that's just no good. And also don't use the throat like it just doesn't sound very nice. So the way that I produce vibrato is with my belly. I really could not grasp the concept of using your belly to produce vibrato, but the way I found it is kind of silly. There was one day I ate way too much and my belly was kind of like pouting out, and I just felt so stuffed, and I was really playing with like my belly full of air, and that really helped me find my vibrato. So the key for me for vibrato is blowing a very steady breath into the instrument, and then it kind of comes naturally. You don't really have much control over it at first, but that will come later. I find that I really have to blow a little bit harder than I think I would. So first of all, try practicing breathing from your diaphragm, so fill up your belly and blow a very steady breath with quite some pressure. You can already kind of hear your breath pulsating if you're doing it correctly. So really play with your belly, really make it pout. There's no one in the room if you find a nice place to play, so don't be embarrassed about having like a big belly. It doesn't look very flattering, but yeah. So try just taking a very deep breath, put your belly out all the way and kind of push the air out from your belly. And now you can try doing it into the instrument. That's what it's supposed to sound. Yours will probably at first sound more steady with less of a wave in it, maybe like this. I really have to think consciously about that. I blow in too weak and that's why there's no wave. If I do the same thing but I just breathe more strongly with more pressure, then the vibrato comes automatically. You can kind of hear the tone starts flat because I'm not blowing hard enough, and then as I increase the pressure it starts wavering up and down. So you can do this on any instrument, but the ocarina is nice because it allows for so much variation in the breath you can put in there. But you can use any wind instrument. So here is the tin whistle or low whistle. I don't recommend this for practicing because if you put in too much air, you're going to overblow and you're going to go into the second octave. Same goes for the recorder, though that's a bit more lenient. So yeah, I prefer the ocarina. If you have a lower ocarina, like a G ocarina or a F ocarina, that also helps since that requires more breath and automatically makes you put in more breath and more steady and strong pressure. So that makes it a tiny bit easier to learn vibrato. So yeah, my key tip is to really inflate your belly a lot and blow a strong breath, and it should come automatically. Really just play with how much you inflate your belly, with how strongly you blow out, and you should start to hear it come. So once you get the basics of the vibrato, you can start to play around with the speed of the air and the amount of air to create a more dynamic vibrato, a faster one, a deeper one, a slower one. So you can make a really slow one. Or a really fast one if you blow faster. And then once you master that, you can put them all into a song to add more expression, create your own style. So yeah, that's it for now. Sorry if I was a tiny bit uncomfortable. This is my first time making a video like this. If you have any questions, just leave it down in the comments. And I hope you can find your vibrato. It took me a really long time, it took me a year, and I just found it on accident while I ate too much and my belly was powdering out. So yeah, maybe try eating a lot. It worked for me. So thanks for watching.